Welcome back to another episode of the Expansion Podcast. This episode is all about how to recognize if you have psychic abilities and the importance around this. It is, and I'm going to get into this so deeply. Oh, I hope you feel by the end of this podcast like you have the truth and clarity you need in your vision in life, and all that fog starts to dispel around your purpose, your mission, your future, your dreams, that vision you have inside of you that just percolates all the time. And we are talking about how to recognize if you have psychic abilities or not, and really what that unlocks when you reconnect, okay? Reconnect, not connect, reconnect to that part of yourself. This is a reclaiming process, and it's probably one of the most epic, non-negotiable things you can do as a woman on this planet who is a vessel of truth, a vessel of clarity, a vessel of purpose, change, and healing. So if any of this resonates, you're going to want to stick around. Okay. It's a full moon today. I record every episode on a full moon, and that you can expect an episode from me on every full moon of every month. Come on in, grab a nice warm drink, get super cozy, and let's dive into this. So we're going to start this episode with chatting about how to recognize you have psychic abilities and that your intuition is really more than just a strong intuition, and how to really see that. Then I'm going to give you the signs of what that is at the end and how that would be showing up in your life right now, what that looks like, what that feels like, what your everyday is going to be feeling like if this is what you're moving through right now. And I'm going to start by guiding you through why recognizing and understanding, and most importantly, accepting your abilities is the key to unlocking the clarity around your soul's mission, destiny life, which is full of prosperity and health and wealth and joy and abundance. And the reason why it's connected to those things, you may know already, but maybe I'll blow your mind a bit. Let's see. Okay, let's get into it. So when we recognize and understand and accept, more importantly, and reconnect with our abilities, we reconnect to the parts of ourselves that our abilities are connected to. And our abilities are connected to your soul's purpose, your vision, your dreams that you see and you try to make happen. And maybe right now it feels like you don't have full clarity on what that is. Maybe it's a little bit foggy and how to go about making that happen. What are the steps I need to take? And that life that you see, that calling, that longing for, is really the most fulfilling, the most joyful, the most prosperous version of your life possible. Okay. Why? Because that part of you, that vision, is connected to the bigger picture in the universe. Call it God, call it the divine, call it source, call it whatever word feels the best for you there. It's connected to those energies. Okay. Because we are all intricately interwoven into this ecosystem of spiritual evolution. If you're on this planet at this time and you're a woman, you are definitely connected to this. So let's see even more how we can tap into this energy. Okay. It's available to you all the time, always has been, but I'm going to walk you through the process of what has actually happened to most of us in our life and how we lose connection with this part of ourselves. That's really the key to understanding that. If that part of ourself is connected to the bigger picture, source, divine, God, universe, whichever feels best for you there, then it's naturally connected to abundance, high frequency energies. So abundance, joy, love, happiness, peace, purpose, fulfillment, connection, feeling whole, feeling like you belong to something. And I just want to call it this wholesome, you just feel whole again. Okay. Keep that in mind when I say whole again, because it's going to make more and more sense as we go here. Because we're women. We are women. We are the portals to evolution on this planet. We are the healing. We are the love. We are the power. We are the portals to bring that into the world. Okay. We are built for that. And when we reconnect to this part of ourselves, you reawaken all of that knowledge, all that wisdom, all that divinity, all that sovereignty inside of you. And then it just pours out from you. And when it pours out from you, okay, it syncs up with the track. Okay, let's call it like a train track. Okay, but it's really like a timeline, your timeline, the version of your life that is, like I said, the most abundant, because you are on planet Earth, and planet Earth has energetic laws that we are all bound to, that we all work within, because we're energy first, we're energy beings. So when you reawaken all that knowledge, all that healing wisdom, all of you, and reconnect back to yourself, you have all your power back. You are whole. You are all of you. Okay. You're the most authentic version of you is where your abilities are. Hands down. I see this all the time. I see it within my own journey. I've seen it with every single one of my clients. They feel like they're split in half. Like there's this version of themselves that was fitting into all of the molds on Earth of what they were supposed to do, how they're supposed to live their lives, how it's supposed to look, the order things are supposed to go in, what they're supposed to be, who they're supposed to be. And then this other part of themselves that they wrap up, put away in a closet, and just leave. We abandon that part of ourselves. And I'm going to get into why that happens and a little bit more of that process. But when we connect to both versions of ourselves, we're no longer split in the middle, and we merge, our life force energy not only blooms and grows because we have all of ourselves connected again. The energetic laws that we're all bound to and work within amplify that. You are a walking magnet. Your cells are magnets. Okay. You are a walking magnet, which means like energy calls in like energy. Okay. I'm going to repeat that. Like energy calls in like energy. So this works in any instance. If we are walking around most of our life where we are disconnected from the most authentic version of ourselves, our most powerful, potent, beautiful, visionary, life purpose, soul purpose, divine part of ourselves, our healing gifts, our psychic abilities, and we're walking around without that part of ourselves, we're constantly calling in, magnetizing, and recreating experiences that come with that severing, that disconnection. Okay. Most of us do this at a very young age because in the society and the way that it currently is, and maybe the way that our family ecosystems were set up and the environments we grew up in, we deemed it necessary for survival to disconnect, to abandon, to reject, to remove ourselves from that authentic version of ourselves, because it was either, here's the list, too much, too dramatic, too sensitive, too many emotions, feeling too much, too sensitive, too dramatic. There's one, too crazy. It's like people can't understand you. It's like whatever feedback you got, it was just, it didn't align with what the generations before you deemed as, I guess I want to use the word normal. I don't love that word. I think that it's I don't think anything, I don't think you can call anything normal. I just think that we are, and everything is. Okay. So there's no right and wrong. There just is. And you just are. Okay. You just are. You're just your beautiful self. So we at some point abandoned that part of ourselves, locked it away, kept it hidden, because at some point the feedback was that it wasn't good enough, worthy enough, accepted. We couldn't fit in. And all we want, right? Our natural encoding, energetically, spiritually, is that we want to belong. So when that is threatened, we will do what we need to do. And if that means leaving behind a massive, big, beautiful part of ourselves, our most authentic version of ourselves behind, we will do it. So let's fast forward now that that's been separated. We've learned to cope. We go about our lives. We're moving on with our lives. And we find ourselves, this is where my clients find ourselves in a place where we're very unhappy. We don't feel fulfilled. We don't know what our purpose is. We feel really foggy. And then it all starts to accumulate to the point where we feel so stagnant and stuck in life, and we don't even know how we got there. We don't even know how we got to this point. Our lives don't look and feel like how we wanted them to. And it's like this snowball effect that happened over time. And now we're just sitting here. We wake up one day and we're like, wait a sec, like this doesn't match. Something doesn't feel right. Something feels off. And this is where my clients find me, and we work together to reclaim, reconnect, and put yourself back together again so that we can work with the natural energetic laws in our favor to do that. And that is a whole process. Okay. That's a whole process. I put everything in the show notes, including the beautiful diagram of the split and what that means. So I put a beautiful post on IG that goes through with a diagram so you can understand it better when I talk about that split of the version of ourselves and the higher purpose and what that looks like. So you can watch that in the show notes. If you want to do more work, you're definitely going to want to check out my masterclass and my newest course, Psychic Abilities, which is launching. If you're watching this right now, it's launching on May 1st of 2025. If you're watching it after, head on over to the links, get your butt in there. It's a do-it-yourself course that helps you reclaim this part of yourself. Okay. Psychic Abilities University is this whole, what I'm talking about right now is why I created it. We need to belong somewhere. So check that out. Now, when my clients find me, they've gone through life and things are not fitting anymore. They feel like they're wearing someone else's skin. They feel like they are not authentic to who they are. And they just feel like there's this urgency of something that they need to do, but they're not really sure what that is. Okay. And there's a lot of other signs and symptoms that come with this. That's the overall general feeling. Okay. And isolation. Holy moly moly. Isolation is one of the number one signs. So let's get into the signs. Okay. So here's, it's a big list. I did not hold back here. So I mean, I could keep talking about all of this stuff. I can go into each of the pillars of your life of how these all intermingle with all of them. But I gave you a really good list here. So let's recognize the signs that this is you. This is happening with you. This is your psychic abilities are trying to turn on. They're trying to speak to you. They're trying to come through to you. So just before we get here, before we dive into that list, like that part of yourself is constantly trying to get back to you. But when we go throughout life with that disconnected part of ourselves, when we feel isolated, abandoned, and rejected, and we can't connect with anyone, like we don't feel like ourselves, we accumulate a bunch of stagnant energy over the course of our lives because we're connected to energetic laws that magnify and amplify what's already in us. And because like energy calls in more like energy, we just bring in and attract and magnetize situations to ourselves that are energetic patterns repeating frequencies of loss, feeling lost, heartache, disconnection, abandonment, rejection, unable to connect fully in relationships because we're not fully connected to ourselves. And these are on repeat in every area, facet of our life. Okay. Now I want to do an episode on how this goes into every single pillar of the 7 pillars of our lives. And I think I might. Okay. Now let's dive into the list I have here for you. Now, number 1, you're going to feel like a longing and a tugging at your awareness to search for something. Like you have this, like, I need to be searching for something. Like I need to be looking for something. Like you're searching for something all of the time. Feeling of isolation that doesn't seem to get, let's say, you can't recover from. I don't want to say cured. Like you can't recover from this feeling of isolation and you don't know how to remedy it. You're longing for connection, but fail to fully feel satiated by your current relationships and connections. That can be in every facet of your life. So spiritually, with friends, with romantic partners, your connections in work, your connection to money, your connection to nature, your connection to yourself, your connection to your kids, your connection to the work you do in the world. And another sign is that maybe you're seeking truth about topics, life's big mysteries, like how things work, what we're connected to, this information that seems so hidden from society, but really, we just have to dig a little deeper, like I spent many years doing. And you're seeking truth. Okay. You're seeking yourself. You are your truth. You're seeking yourself. Following endless accounts on social media to quench that thirst for knowledge about your spiritual cravings. You have these cravings for more truth, more. And you're trying to quench that thirst. But I know it's really hard because it's hard to have all of that information in one place and what feels actually truthful for you. That's a self-discovery process, which is why I made Psychic Abilities University, because you have to, the roadmap in there gives you all of this and more. This is why this list exists, because when I created that program, it's like, I'm not holding back. These women need all of this and more. Okay. Feeling afraid of following your intuition. That's a big one. Feeling shame around who you are. Keeping yourself small and contracted, because when you expressed who you truly were, okay, you stood out. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe you weren't accepted. Maybe there was negative feedback towards you in any way. You feel things really deeply, and you notice things that others don't. And you feel in that way, you feel like, I feel really different. And like, this person doesn't seem to be like that, or these communities that I'm in don't seem to be like, I can't talk to anybody about this stuff, or so I really don't feel like I belong anywhere. You're craving home. You don't know what home is. Maybe you're searching all over the planet for it. I did that at one point, looking for home or a community that is similar to you. Okay. Maybe you look up at I used to do this, look up at the stars at night and just feel like that was like your home. It was like, it was your home. And I remember I read something in all the research I've been doing over the last decade that said, the stars hold a piece of your soul. And I think that when I would look at the stars, I felt like home, because that was how I reconnected with that part of myself that I had lost. And it was a small little fix to get me by, that whole journey. This is a big one, having no one to truly talk to about your spiritual side, because people would either call you crazy or didn't believe you, or when you tried to speak about these unexplainable things that would happen to you, or the knowledge you're picking up on, which is usually a mediumship gift where you're reading energetic information and you're reading something about somebody, like, oh, I just don't trust that person, or whatever the situation is. And they're like, I didn't pick up on that at all. Like, oh my God, you're crazy. Don't even, like, whatever that feedback was. So feeling like you have a really big mission to fill and have no idea what that is, that's your destiny calling you. Desires to feel fully seen and reveal this part of yourself that you lock away to protect, heal, because it doesn't make sense to you. You've either abandoned it because it makes sense to you, but you really desire to feel seen because a part of you is missing or disconnected from. Not missing, it's just lost. It's here, it's somewhere. We just have to find it, reconnect to it. But you want to be seen because you are missing fully seeing yourself. You never really felt like you belonged or fit in growing up. And you probably still feel that way in communities. And you have a really strong intuition, but you lack your trust in it. You hide your maybe spiritual side. So if you do have like these little divination practices that you're doing, you kind of hide it from the world because you don't feel safe to freely express it. Now that point right there dives a little bit deeper into, I call past lives, parallel lives. If you know that and you've been listening to my content, you know that. If you're new here, hi, I call past lives parallel lives, because when I do my work with my clients and I use my mediumship skills to dive deeper with them to really unlock every ounce, every particle of them, so that they can be free to express themselves in their journey, in their life's mission. There are often parallel lives that are still happening, okay, in the multidimensional space that are repeating themselves in this lifetime with energetic patterns and frequencies and memories, okay, subconscious memories. So that's a big one. Okay. You only share the side of yourself with a couple of people you trust who are similar to you. Maybe like your soul family with you. Maybe that's a handful of people, and those are like your people. But you want more of them. I get that. And you possibly, I've seen this. Natalie, I had a client one time come to me. This was on the call. She's like, I see ghosts. I'm like, okay. I know it sounds so crazy. I'm like, it doesn't. You wouldn't imagine what I've heard in my 10 years of doing this. It does not sound crazy at all. I would tell me about that. And so she would have these experiences, but she would just brush them off. She would have these really prophetic dreams and predict stuff. She would just brush them off. She would have these accurate feelings about situations and decisions she needs to make in life, whether career or relationship, whichever it was. She would just brush them off. And any feelings about outcomes or knowing when someone was going to call her and thinking about them at that moment, she would just brush all that off. Okay. So don't brush it off. You're spiritually curious about all the things, but you don't know what sources to really trust. And if you're like me, you wished that there was this big library of information that you could go to just on this topic so you can learn all about it. Don't worry, I made the entire library for you inside of my Psychic Abilities University so that you don't have to search anymore. You don't have to search the depths of the planet looking for this information. I did it all for you. You feel pressure around you, okay? Sometimes when we go through this splitness of ourselves, our existence, we can feel a pressure kind of coming in on us. And like someone's like you're being watched. That requires a deeper dive. That is a very real thing in terms of how someone can feel in this experience. Feels like you receive messages from your guides, but you're not really sure how to read them, to interpret them, to decode them. I call it decoding because that's really, they speak in a different language, and it's through your clairs, and there's many clairs, and there's also clairs that aren't written about, but are very unique to the person. You can have your unique set of energetic tools and ways to receive information, to receive messages, and read light. Light is just information, and I call it decoding because it's literally like another language. And you'll see me struggling in some of my videos to explain things because what I'm picking up on as a medium is, my clients and I laugh about this all the time. It's like, I have to take a minute to digest it and put it into English language to be able to be digestible for all of you. Sometimes this is what I'm saying is that you can receive stuff, but you're not really sure how to decode it. And that just is a training process. That's just training yourself and doing the right psychic practices to be able to refine that whole exchange. This is a super cool part because it's in my Psychic Abilities University course, because it's like when everything clicks together, it's magic. So maybe you see energy, maybe you see spirits, and you have these unexplainable experiences that you wonder about, but you don't really share it with anybody because you're afraid if it was real or not. You really lack if it was, did I just make that up? And you've been shamed or possibly bullied about it before or rejected. And maybe you feel like there isn't true non-judgmental support out there for you when it comes to talking about this stuff. Maybe you feel so much shame around this that you're scared to open up about it, which I totally get. That was a massive part of my journey, which is why the whole course is embedded into a community of women like you, because that is so important. And maybe you're an alternative practitioner. You're in the space, you're helping, you're meeting with people. This can be a naturopathic doctor. This can be even a dentist. This can be a doctor. This can be a medical doctor. In any space you're doing coaching work or exchanging with somebody, you can definitely have, I'm going to put you under alternative practitioner or practitioner. And maybe you're having these maybe crazy downloads or experiences, and you're picking things up, messages on clients, and you don't trust what's coming through to you. But you're actually a really powerful medium, and you hold back. So it would just be practicing and decoding that and figuring that out, which is totally possible. And maybe you desire to be more confident in your intuition and want to grow it. Maybe you desire to lean on your intuition more, but you're afraid to let go and just do it. And because it's like, where is this being taught? Where can we learn about this? How do I know I'm doing it right? Right? Remember, there's no right or wrong, there just is. Okay. And your psychic abilities is a muscle. Just like if you wanted to grow the muscles in your arms, your legs, or your core, you would go to the gym and work out. That's how it happens. And that's the same thing with your abilities. You have to work them out like a muscle to strengthen them, to refine them, to make them to evolve them, to make them this super powerful asset that you have all the time. And that also guides your destiny, your big, beautiful purpose, your vision in life, your dreams. And it really, because it's connected to the divine and source and universe and God, whichever word, again, that you want to put there, it gives you limitless possibilities. When you reclaim to that part of yourself, you are reconnecting to limitless possibilities, opportunities, your life. And then you can build your life create your life in the ways that you want, the ways that you desire, the ways that feel authentic to you. And especially because when you reconnect to the most authentic part of yourself, now you actually have clarity around, this is the kind of life that I want to live. It feels good for me, that I wake up and I feel happy and peaceful and abundant, and money is easy and health is easy, and I'm in flow and I'm in grace and ease with my life, and everything becomes easier. Life is not meant to be hard. Life is meant to be easy. You will have way more emotional balance. I have another point here that says maybe you wake up every morning feeling differently, like your emotional world is really unpredictable when you are disconnected from this part of yourself. And it's usually because you're picking up on a lot of energy, even when you go to sleep at night, you're in your dream world, or you're picking it up from somebody else, or excuse me, or from people at work, and you just don't feel like yourself, because now it's like your abilities are so strong, but you're absorbing all this energy like a sponge. Yeah. And this often feels like a roller coaster of energy levels, even feeling physically tired a lot. And like, you're like, okay, well, I have energy today. Will I not? So, so it's all interconnected. It's all here. And you need to know that it's possible to, to be all of you again, to have all your power back, to wake up every morning in a version of your life that actually feels like you, actually looks like you and feels like you, and you love, and life loves you back, and it's connected and wholesome, and you know that you lived your one beautiful life, your one preciously beautiful life, to its absolute fullest. It's a very, very big value of mine. And it's usually a really big value of the women I work with. And I know, listening to this and you made this far, it's a big value of yours. So definitely head on to the link below to check out my course, check out my masterclass, and find whatever stage you're on. Maybe you want to book a call with my team to just find whatever stage you're on, to get you onto the roadmap that's going to get you to that version of yourself, that life where you can wake up every single day with a warm drink in your hand and peace in your heart. That's value to me. That is like, oh, I want that for everybody, because you deserve it. Bottom line, that's your birthright. That is your birthright. That's your natural state. Okay. Have the most beautiful day wherever you are in the world, beautiful evening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.